Hi everyone, it's Natalie here, and it is a new moon, so you know what that means. We're going to do a general reading. So there have been a few viewers in recent weeks for whom the general reading is confounding and confusing, which is understandable. I will be coming out with a video that explains the general reading. Every time I do one, I do put in the description box below a video by Benebell Wen where she explains the entire process in great detail. And I also list the resource or the source where I've derived my own practice and from which Benebell's practice is also derived. That said, I understand that some people are like, yeah, I don't really want to watch that video. I just want to hear you explain it. I'm always confused by that, but also happy to go ahead and do that anyway. I did just film a new Marielle video for the 8th, which I've never done because I felt moved to come back to recording those videos. I've been shocked by how many people actually watch them, even now. Like a huge bulk of the views of my channel seem to still be those videos. So that means people find them useful. And I'm really kind of about that. I would like to do things for people that are useful. So in other words, eventually we'll get there. We're just not there yet. So I'll do my best to kind of walk us through the process a little bit more than usual perhaps today. So those who are very familiar with it, your patience is appreciated. I'll do my best to help those others understand how I'm doing this and working with it. Most of the time when I do this reading for clients, they don't really ask too many questions about it. They're just like, I don't know, she just shuffled a bunch of cards and she found one here and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's essentially what you need to know, friends, is that every card in a tarot deck has ooh, look what's here. I've just been working with it, so it's available. Every card in a regular tarot deck has a number that corresponds with that card. Okay, so the kings and queens and knights all have a 4. So when you count them in a circle where you see them, you'll see, we'll get there, they're worth 4, a count of 4. 2 of Wands, very simple. 2, right? But then the Emperor, what? 12? It's only a 4. But the Emperor is a zodiac, right? It's associated with the zodiac sign of, ooh, glossy, Aries. So how many signs are in the zodiac? 12. So when I count the Emperor, he's worth 12, all right? Similarly, there are some who are elements or elemental cards. For whatever reason, when the folks who devised this system devised it, they gave elemental cards like the Fool a count of 3. So that's why we always start with 3. Because as a significator, which is the card that represents us, all of us collectively in a reading, is drawn, that particular card is the one we're looking for in the piles. So I'll explain it a little bit more as we go along. In the meantime, I'm going to have a little bit of fun this week. I don't know why. I mean, I know why I'm having fun because I just need it, right? Like we all do. But this week I want to read with the Tarot del Fuego. So I've had this one for about a year. And I've never really worked deeply with it. I read for myself with it for a little while after my long-term doula client died last year, and then I put it away for a while because my heart felt like the backs of these cards. It just felt so raw. And now I'm feeling ready to pull it back out and get to the bottom of it. But it's one of those decks that's crazy, not just because it is, but because, and I tend to like those, but also because it's, there's no guidebook. No guidebook! So this could be a deck that I go and do a deep dive with and eventually like make videos about, or it may be one that I just enjoy for myself, who knows. But it's definitely, it raised its head as being like, I'd like you to work with me this month. So I pulled it out. So when I went to look for which one of the decks I'm using right now to work with, this just screamed at me. So we're going to work with it this week. So here's its Fool. Okay, there's the Fool in this deck. I love all of his bells and so forth and his extra eyeballs. And the world around him that has eyeballs looking. Like, yeah, I kind of love that. There's a lot of that in this deck. It's a crazy deck. If you're not familiar with it, it is insane, but we're going to have fun. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this card, the Fool, which signifies us, and I'm going to put it back into the deck, and we're going to shuffle the deck with the Fool in here. Woo! Fun times. Look at that. So putting the Fool back in. Woo. Okay. So then I do overhand. So I always do 9 shuffles. So overhand 1. Okay, so now our deck is really well shuffled, and what we're going to do is move the camera this way, hello, and shift down, there we go, so that we can get in here and divide up the deck. So the deck is going to be cut 2 times. I'm going to cut here once, so in theory in half. Okay, when I work with people in person, I have them do this. Then there's a second cut and a second cut here. So there's actually 3 cuts to make 4 piles. Woo! Okay, and just having a little fun. Did I say that this is a new moon reading? Because this is a new moon reading. I think that was clear. But anyway, moving on. So now we have our 4 piles. And each of these piles represents one of the 4 suits of cards, because we have 4 suits. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have wands, we have cups, we have, I had to take a moment there because Marielle does it differently. We have swords, and we have pentacles, discs, whatever they're called. Okay, coins. You could do it this way. It could go from left to right. I like to go from right to left. Simple, right? Okay, so we're looking for which pile our significator shows up in. So first, wands. Not in the wands pile. So now the cups. Oh, that's just brilliant right there. Not in the cups pile. Where are you hiding, little fool? Are you in the swords pile? I don't know where that accent came from, but I'm having fun. Okay. There he is. He's in the swords pile, everybody. He's in the swords pile. So the new moon has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. The Fool being in the swords pile means that as we go into the next lunar phase or lunar cycle, the focus of our lives is going to come back to our greater purpose in the world. These are all things represented by the swords pile. Okay, so we're going to go into the world contemplating a little more deeply what our role is, you know, in the greater scheme of things. What is the point of our lives? What do we bring to the world? How do we be our better selves? What are we really contributing? What kind of value are we bringing to things? For some of us, it may not be quite so deep. For some, It may be having a change, your mind is changing. Your belief systems are changing. It could be that you are engaging in lots of legal battles. These are all things we see under this particular pile, okay? So maybe that there are legal battles, and maybe that you are involved in a lot of writing or written communication or communication in general, which may or may not bring about some conflict. Okay, so these are all things that come about under this particular pile, which is related to the suit of swords. So everything that we find in the suit of swords are things that are possibilities in this pile. The thing that's a little unusual is that the swords also directs like where we're, again, greater purpose in life. Okay. Personally, on a personal level, that is where I am right now. So I'm just going to name that and speak it. Again, for a lot of us, that is not a thing. It is really not so deep. But the new moon coming up, it's got some weight to it. So I think we need to give it its fair due. So that said, we don't need these other piles. We'll get rid of them now. And these cards are now kind of out of play. And instead, what we're going to do is set up this pile in a circle. Now, because of the direction, I like to work directionally. Because of the direction the Fool is taking, I'm going to go in that direction with that Fool. So we're taking that journey with him. Okay, because he represents us collectively. So we're going to do this. We're laying the cards out in a circle in order to count them. Okay. So now that we've got everybody laid out in a nice, friendly little circle, what we're going to do is take our Fool and have him poke out just a little bit. That's just a gnat thing. I just do that. As I said before, he's worth 3 because he's an elemental card. All right. So we count 1, including him, 1, 2, 3. And the card it lands on is our first card, which is, oh joy, the 5 of Cups, everybody's favorite. You see why I wanted to be fun. 5 of Cups. I had a feeling. So the 5 of Cups is obviously has a number. It's number 5. So we're going to count 5, not including the 5 of Cups this time, okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that. Another 5. I wonder if we'll end up with 5 cards. This time it's the 5 of Pentacles. Good times for everyone. Again, all our favorites here coming out for reprisal. Okay. And again, it's worth 5, so we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, even better. It's Temperance. It's Temperance. And Temperance is associated with the astrological sign of, ding, 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 Sagittarius. So that means it's worth 12, right? Because I got to write it down. Temperance is an astrological or a zodiac card. So we're going to count 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, hey, things are looking up. We have a 3 of Cups. We like a 3 of Cups, don't we? 3 of Cups. Welcome to the Wheel of Fortune. Tarot style. Okay. So we're going to count 3. So we're going to go 1, 2. Oh, we don't. No, we do. We go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. It's the 8 of Pentacles. We got some work to do. Oops. So the 8 of Pentacles is next. And you guessed it, because it's the 8 of Pentacles, we're going to count 8. You see why I write this down? Because everything goes to hell in a handbasket, going around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We landed on Temperance again, okay? So because temperance is already in the mix, it can't be in there twice, right? It's just like playing a board game. So because it's in there once already, we're going to stop. And our final card was the Eight of Pentacles. And guess what, friends? We have 5 cards. What did I say at the beginning? 5 cards. Okay. All right, so we're going to pick out that 5 of Cups, make friends with it, and make friends with our 5 of Pentacles. 2 the Temperance. Okay, I think some of us can already see where this is going, reading-wise. There's a definite pattern. And because we don't need the rest of our buddies here, including the Fool or Significator, all right, unless you're working with the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, and then that's different, we're going to go ahead and put them all back in our discard pile, right? Thinking card, what am I thinking of here? Like the card game style here. Okay, so I'm going to lay these out and switch the camera around so we can see what we got. Okay, friendos, here we are on this side of the camera. And as you can see, there we do have this kind of interesting little pattern here. So the new moon on the 8th of August is in Leo. All right, and then this is kind of an interesting new moon. Again, you know, Tarot del Fuego, you don't get any more fuego than Leo. All right, I'll stop. Or I won't, you know, I'll just keep having fun. But what we have here with this is interesting, because usually a new moon has less tension in it than a full moon. But this is not the same. I have not done an astrological chart or had one pulled or seen one done for this particular new moon. But I can tell already, I really could tell this morning, and then again with the with the Mo divination earlier, you were looking at some challenging aspects, right? The start of this week is, as it says here, you know, starting the new moon empty of intelligence. Okay? What does that mean in regards to something like the 5 of Cups? It basically is telling us, if you look here, we got all this, it's interesting, it's underwater, because it's cups, I guess. But we've got all these interesting things popping up out of the cups. And we, you know, including a squid that's spouting fire at this weird naga-looking creature or eel-looking thing that's on fire. I mean, there's conflict, and there's a lot of crap coming up from the past. Okay, coming up from the depths of the ocean, I think is our little analogy here. So from the deeper depths, we've got this welling up of our inner squid, our inner eel. The squid kind of does this, right? The eel is a little more like that, you know, kind of, but, you know, they're coming up out of the depths to remind us of where we've been. You know, where have we come from? Where have we been? But it's not going to do it in a comfortable way. Even though this is a swords pile. Ooh, somebody's having fun with that engine. Even though it's coming from a swords pile, it's the heart that's going to ache a little, right? We may be wondering, if we're someone wondering about our future, okay? If we're somebody wondering about what is the future going to bring for us under these aspects, and how do I integrate some of my past experience into something more useful, this is going to be not comfortable, right? And I think it's probably telling us that either we need to put some past things to rest by putting it in perspective, okay? Or we need to be willing to confront the past more actively in order to put it to rest. You know, of course the past influences the future, friends. It always does. It always does. Up to a degree. And then we have a choice. You know, we have a choice. We have an ability to move forward. We have an ability to let some things go. But once we've spent some time mining the past for intelligence, which is not what we're doing in the Five of Cups, by the way. Once we've done a certain amount of that, we have to be willing to recognize that the past itself, in terms of what else we can glean from it on an emotional level, is empty of intelligence, okay? I used this analogy in the Mo divination. Here's one of our little friends from the Hieronymus Bosch Tarot. You know, this is all the voices of our past, kind of like these cups, you know, chiming in to sing, and they can't all sing on the same page together. It's not wise, right? It's not going to help us move forward. We have to let go of it, or the conflict between all of these aspects of our past is going to carry forward. And we don't need that. We don't need it. So we need to let the past rest. We need to do what we can do this week to let it rest, to make peace with it. That's not going to be comfortable completely, folks, because what else do we have? We have the Five of Pentacles. So we're going to struggle. Interestingly, one of the aspects also in this Mo divination was, you know, to expect that money or wealth runs through your fingers. And in some respects, that's also, you know, we're going to cry away, cry the money away. Oh, watch as it leaves the bank account. No. Oh, look, there's always a 5 up here in the corner. You notice that? I just saw that. Never saw that before. Yeah, you know, we're almost, this is such an interesting card. What I'm seeing here is a need where money is leaving the account quickly, or where we've had difficulty with resources and finances and so forth. You know, we could cry over it forever, but it won't change anything. It won't change anything. It won't bring more money to us. And what we see here, you know, we've got these wellspring of tears here over the money. And yet, what's coming? We've got, like, what this person is seeing is like an incoming source. You know, the fire is behind it. There's this incoming source or resource coming in. But if our eyes are so full of tears and water, we're never going to be able to see or recognize the potential that's there. Right? If we can't see the potential because we're about to give it a wave or a tsunami from either side in the form of getting too emotional about it, you know, this may be emotional, grieving emotional mistakes from the past, you know, or grieving, grieving mistakes from the past, and becoming emotional about money mistakes from the past, okay? If we spend too much time dwelling on that, we will not be able to see potential that's right in front of us. And that would be unfortunate. So we need to be careful moving forward, because this in itself is empty of intelligence. I feel that deeply. Why? Because look where we're headed. You know, we're headed toward a 3 of Cups. We're headed toward temperance or rebalancing of things, okay? So seeing things come back into a place of balance, an alchemical shift, being able to get the nectar out of the flower. I mean, just look at all of these, you know, we've got the rainbow, you know, the eyes of the universe are everywhere in these cards. But except here, interestingly, in the cards that are darker in this deck, there are fewer eyes, or the eyes are there, but they seem to be unable to see. We're kind of resolving past business, emotional business, emotional business that's related to finance or money, and things. And we're coming to a place of rebalancing. The angel in the Temperance card is sometimes thought of or referred to as sort of the holy guardian angel. There is an alchemical shift that brings our world, our personal world back into balance. So for some of us, this will look like the opportunity that's here if we can catch it. Okay, for some of us, this will look like an aha moment, or oh, that's why I went through all of this, was to get to here, right? It may be the form of an opportunity, a way to bring everything back into balance together, or a way to take two things that seem complete, like they shouldn't work together well, combine them, and have magic come out of it. Okay? This kind of feels like a full moon moment for sure. So the couple of weeks leading up to the full moon may be really not very comfortable. But it looks to me like by the time we reach the full moon, we're going to be in a better place. We're definitely going to be in a better place. For some of you, this will be finding that thing, right? So how exciting, finding that thing. Remember we said at the very beginning, the swords pile can sometimes be about, often it is, about finding one's purpose, greater purpose in the world. The Temperance card would be that, right? Because then what happens after the 14, we move into the third septenary, which is the transpersonal. So being able to take what you've gleaned from the past, transform it alchemically, and take it into the future. How exciting is that, guys? Super duper exciting. Also interesting to me, just have to point this out, that this, numerologically, 1 + 4 is 5. Just, and we got the 5s, 5, there's all of that. So, 5 is the number for this cycle. I mean, there's a lot of 5 energy, but it looks as though it's being put towards something positive. So whether for you this just means finding a greater balance in life after having a difficulty between managing, home life, the past of your home life, past relationships, and trying to make those come together in a new relationship or a situation or relationship where, finances are hard to balance. Maybe both of you don't have a job, but everyone's on the lookout for better possibilities, and you find that. Not so likely, I'm thinking. But for some of you out there, that may be a thing. For some of you, let's talk about writing and communication. For those looking at writing and a lot of communication, holy cow, that has led to some problems. It's created some emotional disturbances, or some difficulties from the past are a big influence or a big part of why there's a need for communication or a need to be writing, maybe trying to resolve it, but having a difficult time maybe making space for it because there's not as much money, time, resources, etc., and feeling grief about that. And hopefully we don't let the energy of that stop you from being able to see opportunities where, oh wait, I could use this time wisely, right? And then boom, holy cow, look what just happened. Suddenly alchemy, purpose, the ability to pull things together, to know how to proceed forward in a way that benefits not just you, but everyone and everything around you. Okay? So there's a lot of ways that could play out. Obviously, moving forward, this feels a little bit more straightforward. Okay? Clearly, having found that sense of resolution to things is going to bring a sense of joy, growth, promise. This 3 of Cups There's all of these leaves coming out and a beautiful flower at the top and butterflies landing on the flower and kind of, around. It may slow things down a little bit. We got that little snail down here. It will calm things. So I'm thinking that after the new moon, after this kind of coming to fruition with the temperance, we're gonna see some celebration. There will be some cause for celebration, some relief, the ability to take a deep breath and relax. And in part, that's because we know how we need to move forward. And moving forward is not as hard as we might think. Yeah, I don't think it is. I mean, it's hard work. It's hard work. It is hard work. I'm just looking at how he's represented. Like, wait a minute, what did I just say? And holy crap, look at this card. Wow, that's some kind of 8 of Pence, eh? I mean, I feel more like, because of the way we've just seen things line up, this is how I feel inclined to interpret this card. Which is, having laid the past to rest, we've gotten over the top of the mountain, and we can see the path ahead that leads us back home. And brings a clearer path of what work has to be done. If it's writing, suddenly we know what we need to do and we can sit down and apply it. So everything moves downhill and comes together. There's momentum coming from multiple directions. It comes from the sky, it's coming from the earth. Everything is, the path is laid. And so on. Fire and eyes in this deck, get it, seems to be a positive thing. So, it's almost like the universe here is creating the conditions by which it's possible for money to just rain down on us. I hope that's the case. But yeah, as an 8 of Pentacles, I'm thinking that, or sensing that what we're looking at is no longer, we've gotten up over the hump and we're on the downhill slope. It will still require effort. It will still require a willingness and a vulnerability and an ability to bring ourselves to the project or to the task at hand. But we've got everything we need. We've got everything we need. Yeah. So it's possible to move forward and from a better place. It's not moving forward from a new place. It's moving forward from a place where, interestingly, we maybe could have been before, had it not been for getting caught up in loads of other stuff. Getting entangled in old patterns, getting entangled in the past, having difficulty with facing conditions the way they are and the way they exist right now. Yeah. So to recap, we're dealing with all kinds of past aspects that may be coming to the fore at this time that are emotionally based, and which are ultimately things that, we need to either say, I can pull wisdom and information and something useful from this, or I can grieve it one more time and let it go. Because I've got to find a way to move on. Moving on, that past difficulty, whatever it is, affects the current situation with regards to, money, finance, stability, having enough, feeling or perception of having enough. But if we get too caught up in the emotion or feelings around that, we may miss an opportunity that's right in front of us, to shift or change things. I just realized that is a house. And it's, because the eye is seeing things upside down, but the brain flips it. That's so interesting. It's a home being manifested. Oh no, I've lost everything, but there's a home being manifested. How beautiful. So, shit, I gotta say this. It reminds me of this, the way they expanded. Again, so happy and so proud to be part of Cori Bush's constituency in St. Louis. Voted for her, love her, adore her. She just took part in protests and, action toward making sure, essentially, bottom line, making sure that people can stay in their home. So there's a possibility of being able to let go of whatever is upsetting or distressing in favor of, look, it's going to be okay. And don't miss the opportunities right in front of you to be, for stability, to recognize stability, to recognize finances that are available, to recognize opportunities coming into play. Okay. Then we have the big moment, probably a full moon moment. For some people, it may be sooner or later, depending. But we're looking at a moment of reconciliation, a moment of alchemical shift, a moment where we evolve to the moment, to the needs of the situation arising in our lives or in our careers, and we figure out what is necessary in order to move forward. That very thing brings us great joy, calms things down, slows things down, relaxes all of it in order for us to be able to get down to the hard work. Okay. And we can amp things up, because remember, there's momentum here. As things come down, with a slope like that, it's going to go tumble, 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 and go back all the way up, right? So the hard work will pay off. All right, folks, thanks for engaging with me on this, for having a little fun this week. This is a deck, again, I've never really read for anyone else with. Obviously, I'm finding and seeing new things and negotiating around that a little bit, so I appreciate your patience. This is a deck I really want to work with and get to know, so I'm going to keep working with it. It's really fascinating. There's so much in the imagery to play with. All right, friends, I will see you again in the next one. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week moving forward, and I wish you all the best. Bye.